All right, what's up guys? Back out here again today. Gonna do a little bit more work on the charger. So unfortunately, a lot of the parts that I ordered for the front end of this are on back order through AMD, which really sucks. So good thing is I do have a lot of parts for the back end and really just the trunk pan, the rear frame rails, that kind of stuff. So it's still completely together and being held together in the back. So haven't had a chance to really take too much of it apart yet. So this is gonna be more teardown in this video, but wanted to kind of show you guys what's involved in that and kind of what I uncover along the way. So what does really suck is that I do not have a key to open up the trunk. So this thing is, yeah, not coming up too easy. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get into it. The good thing is the whole floor in the trunk is completely gone out of this thing. So hopefully I can get up in there and pop this thing open and see what we got. So from what I can see right now, the gutter rail is not in the best shape, especially down here towards the bottom. It looks pretty rough. So who knows what sort of surprises we're gonna find there. But no, the deck filler rust in the usual spots right up here underneath this this trim and underneath that rear window. So gonna have to pull that out. The other side definitely has a rust hole in it, and we'll have to take a look at this. So yeah, that's pretty bad. So but we'll keep tearing it apart. We'll see what we got. I know for sure the panel that's underneath of this guy is definitely gone too. So just all those years of sitting outside definitely did not do this thing any good. You know, eventually when I do decide to cut the quarters off, pretty sure gonna have to go full quarters. It's kind of hard to see, but this thing is really beat up here along the edges. I mean, it's got some big dents in it. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to take it off at the lead seam that's on this. But good thing is the roof seems to be actually in pretty decent shape. Nothing too major there. But no, I'm just so happy to finally have this thing in here and be able to work on it. And also really happy, the more I look at the car, the more I realize I have all the trim and basically all the kind of the bright work and the stainless that's on this car. So but let's get working here, and we'll get this trunk open and kind of see what it looks like from there. Got rained down with a bunch of rat shit. Yeah. Cool. So we got her open. Not too much surprise here. The deck lid's pretty screwed. So yeah, all the way around, it's nasty. This whole lip. So inside of it doesn't look too terrible. It's just that kind of outside of the lip. But oh well. Grab a screwdriver here. So this is 42 years of a bunch of shit on the inside of here. So yeah, as soon as I popped that trunk open, I'm sure you saw it got rained down with all sorts of shit that was stuck up inside of here. And yeah, pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. The old trunk liner still in this thing, but the whole center section is completely gone. So yeah, the trunk liner. Oh wow. Yeah, super brittle, which is unfortunate, but good thing is I don't have to dick around with drilling out all the spot welds for the trunk pan. So looks like nature already did that for me here. So that's nice. Another old plate for it. So I've got the matching plate, which still has that 1977 or 78, can't remember, tag on it. So that's pretty cool. What you doing, girl? You having fun? All right. My time might be limited out here tonight. Let's see what's on this other side here. Oh God. This thing is just disintegrating. That sucks. All right. So as you guessed, this thing needs some serious framework, some love and attention. But yeah, like I said earlier, the good thing is I don't have to drill out all these spot welds here. So I've got the full frame rail sections. More than likely I'm going to end up having to do the entire frame rails, but I'm going to kind of dig into this and see what it looks like. That pan right up on top of there and the bracing up there looks pretty whack too, so not good. But yeah, the trunk extensions. Ooh, what do we got here? I got some sort of a soft interior panel right here. Let's see what this is. Oh, come on. Okay. I'll have to look at it. It looks like, yeah, it's a, ooh, it's actually the other upper to that door panel that I showed you guys earlier that was brown. Looks like it's the upper armrest pad for the brown door panel there. So hopefully I can get this thing out of here. It looks like it's going to need to be recovered or repaired anyways, but still pretty cool, still original to this car. So why can't I get this out of here? Okay, there we go. Huh. And it's actually not in bad shape. It's got a little tear right here on the top of that. But that's it. I bet you this thing would actually clean up pretty decent. Huh. Cool. Well, it'll go on the shelf. All right. Well, nothing else too noteworthy in here. A lot of what we expected. So I will, yeah, get the taillights out of this thing and start disassembling it and kind of see where we go from there. But you know, surprisingly, these gutters don't look bad. So let me vacuum this real quick and I'll show you guys what that looks like afterwards. This back piece right here is pretty nasty, but it looks like, I mean, and it's wet too. That's crazy that it's not completely gone. So let me vacuum this up and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, got it all cleaned up. It's pretty bad. Pretty sure the trunk channel is gonna have to be replaced. Got some holes up here in the deck panel. This has been bent down, I don't know, damage over the years, what have you. But now the corners are gone in it too. So right here where the rocker meets, that's gone. So again, nothing too unexpected here. Figured this would all probably have to come out anyway. So not too big of a deal and definitely not the end of the world. So, but I'm gonna keep on cranking here as long as baby will let me out here. And yeah, get this back end torn apart and get the deck lid off and we'll see where we're at. All right, guys, I want to show you the hardest part of any build that you're going to do, okay? And kind of what I want you to start off with is just to take a baggie, okay? In this case, they're green. Green car, green. Blue car, blue, okay? Can't mess this up. And I want you to grab a permanent marker and write on the bag where the bolts go. 68 Charger deck lid bolts. Open the bag. 4 bolts in the bag, zip the bag. The hardest part of any build that I've been a part of or done myself is organization. I guarantee you in a later video you're gonna see me bitching and moaning that I've lost this bag. I can promise you that. So take the time now, especially with, I've noticed this with Mopar stuff, is it seems like every damn bolt is different. So this being a deck lid bolt, special washer, you know, special head. It's even got writing on the head of the bolt itself, length, right? And you want to make sure that you put the right hardware back where it goes. So stay organized, find some way to dummy proof whatever you got to do. I like to do this: green car, green bag; blue car, blue bag. Helps keep it organized, help things go a lot smoother so you're not scrambling and looking for things at the end. So just figured I'd share that tip with you. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. Big day today. We're gonna start chopping some metal, start making some real big progress. So thankfully I got my helper He's got his toolbox out and ready. We got the quarters marked out. Gonna get some better access. Really having a hard time just getting in there, getting around on the inside of it. So things are pretty beat up in here. Metal's all tore up. So this will give me a whole lot better access, so I can start dissecting the rear end of this thing a whole lot better. So, but it's Friday. Hoping to make some really good progress on this, and yeah, get the quarters cut out of it. Probably get the rear trunk pan pulled out. And then we'll see how far we get. I do have 2 brand new frame rails for the back, so we'll see how far we can get this weekend. But did get most of the back end the other day torn apart. Do have to cut off 1 bolt for the rear bumper to come off this thing. So, but making progress, just continuing the tear down and getting this thing apart. So let's get to it. Look at that.
What happened?
I've got the whole thing off. The last 6 inches. So it will take exactly 1 wheel to cut a quarter off. So in case you're wondering.
What happened right here?
All right, guys. So let's take a look at this. Cutting it off pretty straightforward. I actually found a little bit more Bondo work that I was surprised to find, but not sure. I mean, pretty sure it's not factory, but once I started digging in a little bit here around the wheel wells here, started kind of kicking up some of this this body filler here. So it's definitely a little thin skim coat of body fill at one time put on this thing, but no, the wheel housings don't look terrible. Up in here where the structure attaches to the wheel housing, that's pretty well eaten away. You know, a lot of this actually looks like that it came in through up in here, this little channel right here. Water got into there, ended up getting up into this metal right here, so I can't see a whole lot from where I'm at, but I don't see any holes through it. But this this little structure support piece for sure is not in good shape. But if you guys are wondering how rust is happening, especially down here along the bottom side by your rockers, let me grab a screwdriver for a second. Well, I took it off, and I mean, you can kind of see it all up in here too. This just rust piled up on the inside of here. But down in the bottom right here, this channel where the lower quarter here meets the rocker at, this was completely full. I mean, that's just a pile of stuff right there that missed the vacuum cleaner, that didn't get sucked up with the shop vac. So all this up in here is soaking wet rust. And this car, I mean, you know, it's been outside for 40 years. And again, looking at it, definitely cut. Well, there's a hole right there, and the channel I hadn't seen yet. So, but yeah, water's definitely getting in there, running its way down here, and then yeah, just getting stuck inside of here, and all this stuff is wet. All these chips right here are wet. So I'm gonna keep working on this. Unfortunately, this stainless trim's in pretty rough shape, especially towards the back. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm gonna keep on working on this, get it detached from the wheelhouse here, and then start to peel back right here where it's attached to the rocker. But surprisingly, I mean, I can't really see all the way up in there. I cannot believe this thing is completely not rusted out. I mean, the rest of the rocker especially the inner rocker. On the inside of the car where the floor pan meets, it is completely gone. Excuse me, allergies are killing me. But no, from all this water coming in, I'm very surprised that this thing is just not completely destroyed, but it looks a little bit crispy. We'll see kind of what we got when we get in there. Trunk extension back here, I mean, you can see how bad the right there where that frame is broken. Right there on the back side here where it meets the back tail piece here. But no, the trunk pan extension, I mean, I just popped that off with my hands. It was 99% of the way there, and did not take much effort. But at least now that I've got this thing opened up, I can really get inside here, start to disassemble the back of this guy pretty, you know, slowly, one piece at a time, and start to kind of open this thing up and see what the frame rails look like, or at least how far in I have to section. If not, just replace the entire frame rail. I've got the full frame rail. So, but we'll keep digging into this thing, and we'll get back out here when we get a little bit more progress. You having fun, dude? You having fun?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got your tape measure? What are you measuring? Measuring the back of the car? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna keep on digging in. We'll see you in a bit. Hey, what's up, guys? So instead of giving you guys updates about every 10 to 15 minutes, got a couple hours in tonight, and honestly, I don't know what happened. I blacked out, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like that. So there's officially no turning back now. So no, in all seriousness, really got a lot done tonight. So let's start with this side. Was able to get this quarter off. Did trim back the wheelhouse here. I'm gonna have to do both sides of this guy. So it's in pretty bad shape on both sides of this thing. Also up here, this support piece is completely rotted out. The rocker, I really haven't opened it up too much, but I mean, I've got one hole here in the corner, but I'm very surprised that the rest of that is actually pretty decently solid in there. So onto the back side here, got the fuel cap out. That all looks good. And then I went through the process of getting the tail panel and what was left of the rear valence off. So I think I will be able to save this. I mean, this fender actually looks like it's in pretty decent shape. Or this rear quarter, excuse me. Trunk gutter here is probably gonna have to get swapped out. We'll see once I get some parts back here and start kind of fitting everything up and see what it looks like. Onto the deck filler, a couple spots here in the corner, also along right here. Just this gutter, and then this side right here is definitely the worst. So looks like it'll need a little love up there on the top, but really not terrible at all. But once you get up in here on the inside of this thing, definitely this plenum on the inside of this, it's completely gone. So kind of a funny story, I was laying underneath the car and I was actually working down here trying to get all this metal off the, you know, get to decent metal here on the frame rails. And glanced up, and there's definitely a damn mouse sticking its head out of the corner of this thing here. So there's a giant ass mouse nest up in there with a couple mice. I'm really hoping that they get out of there tonight, because yeah, this is going to be coming out. So on the bottom side of this, you can see light coming through there on that rear deck filler. So most likely that's coming out. And then what really sucks, I mean, I haven't been able to get inside of this thing this far, but rear package tray also rotted out. So I'll have to take a closer look to see. I mean, it looks like definitely on this side, but then also a little bit on the other side too. So so I'll take a little bit closer look at it tomorrow once I got some better light in here. But no, finally did cut it back to some decent metal on the frame rails here. I mean, you can see the whole trunk pan now is completely gone. Rear axle, was able to drop that out. So good thing is this rear cross member here is actually solid. Also looking up at the frame rails underneath here, they look decently solid too. So I'm gonna really take my time, measure across this thing. I do have my rear frame rails. I'll probably do one at a time, take measurements not only off the floor but also in between the frame rails at different spots between these things. So to try to get this obviously as lined up as close to where they are now as possible. So I do know, and watching enough videos on this, that, you know, once I get them in place, to get the tailpiece on and then actually start kind of screwing everything together and just make sure it all goes back together. So, but this is a big job in itself. Just getting this these frame rails out is going to be it's going to be a pretty fun one here to do. So, but underneath, actually, that pan, I guess my only saving grace here is that pan underneath is actually really solid. I think it's about the only piece in this car that I probably will not have to replace. But it's in really good shape, which is excellent, because that means that my frame rails can go right back into the same exact spot that they were, and we'll actually have something to hold them, you know, or hold on to them, because this car is not on a frame jig. So it you know, really got lucky with that. So, but yeah, so got the rear axle out, and got this quarter also cut off, I'm pretty sure. So the other side, I think I'll be able to skin the rear quarter on. This side is, something happened here. I mean, it's all busted up, beat up, dented up, and it's even dented up into here too. So this passenger side is most likely going to get the full treatment and get a full quarter on it. So it's so crazy to see all the shit, the mushrooms and plants and everything else that have been growing on this thing for sitting for 42 years outside. So it's kind of what you get, right? So I did want to show you guys something. So trying to just get more light into the car, looking at the package tray, and pulled the rear seats out of it. So got those out, and then I found what looks like several generations worth of mouse festivities, or squirrel or something. But there is about 8 inches probably of shit that these mice have dragged into this car. So everything from all these nuts and you name it. Unfortunately, my build sheet's probably somewhere mixed in with all this shit back here, but it is unbelievable how much stuff that they brought into this car. And like I said, I mean, it's 40 years, right? So you imagine there's all sorts of fun stuff in here, but it's got my allergies all going crazy from breathing the shit in. So definitely gonna have to put a mask on, and probably bring a shovel in here, or even just probably straight up you know, a dustpan to get that out. So but no, looking from the inside, I mean, obviously, you know, the floor is butt ugly inside of this thing. Is a little bit scary, but surprisingly, from kind of right here back, it's in pretty decent shape. There's one hole on the other side that I will have to pay some attention to, but it's actually solid there. So I'm really happy about that. Those rear frame rails, you can kind of see that one poking out right there. You can also see this one right here, and that's kind of where it stops at. So yeah, so at least I've got some references here. Like I said, I am going to take a ton of measurements, draw this thing out, do whatever I have to do to make sure it goes back in the exact same place that it went. Because obviously once that one's in and that one's perfect, then I got to do the same thing to the other side. So things can really get crazy really quick. So it's probably going to take me a day or two to just get it out, measure everything, make sure it's all good to go, and then start the process of replacing it. So, but this teardown's actually gone pretty easy. I mean, I guess everything's easy when you just start cutting shit, and kind of left with not a whole lot left. But no, pretty stoked. Yeah, still pretty into it. Obviously now comes that painful task of getting all the parts, and parts are not cheap. So I'm glad I have most of what I need up. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of work to do on the front end of this thing. So glad I started with the back. Hopefully it gives me some good momentum, and yeah, hope all goes well, and then we'll move on to the front side of this car. So, but all right guys, well, I'll catch you next time, and yeah, we'll dig into the frame rails next. See ya.